Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was rent shall be restored. What was lost now shall be found. The price of valor ever rising, but victory brings new rewards. Tales of glory, might, and wonder, hard-fought battles, treasures won. Our heroes know their fate awaits them, and so they carry on.
Hello, and welcome to Ages of Einor. I am your humble, stream host, and not your Master of Dungeons nor Keeper of Dragons this time. I am Pixel, and I'm pleased to present to you the heading downward into the depths beneath a temple on a floating city being dragged into hell 12th episode of Ages of Einor presents Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus. As always, folks, we're going to get into the game here in just a few minutes. But before we do have that usual housekeeping stuff. So, just a heads up for everybody, if you've been around, you know that we put our maps up on screen. This time, you won't be seeing the GM perspectives because I'm not the GM. So you don't have to worry about spoilers in that sense. However, if you do know this adventure or have run or played this adventure previously, please don't post any spoilers in the chat because our cast will be in the chat with you guys interacting. And they don't want anything spoiled. Secondly, don't freak out about the rules. There's a lot of them, and, we do pretty good, but, we're maybe not going to get everything 100% right all the time, so don't freak out about it. Third, this is an open and welcoming space, so do keep your internet toxicity out of here, please. Never a problem with the folks we usually have, but we do want to make that announcement up front so nobody gets any funny ideas. And a reminder, we do release the show on YouTube after each episode. So if you want to get caught up or have to miss part of the episode tonight or something and want to be caught up so you can watch it live in the future, they usually go out on Wednesday, although I forgot to do it last week and they just went out today. Don't tell anybody. And then last thing before we get started, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves and remind us if we have who we are, where we can be found on the internet, if we have chat inspiration, and who we will be playing tonight. Probably not in that order. Starting, of course, with our illustrious GM, DocRobert.
Hi, everybody. I am Robbie, or DocRobert, and I will be your dungeon master today, putting these guys through literal hell instead of metaphorical hell. So, Some other housekeeping things. I'm sure that we'll announce this again at the end of the stream, but we will be taking the remainder of September off, or basically all of September off. We are all have some stuff going on, doing some really cool stuff, and will not be available for that month. And the other big change you'll notice when we come back is that we are going to be updating our characters to use the new 2024 rule set. I have given all the players the option to continue using the subclass they have, updating with the rules, which there are rules for using old subclasses within the new system, or to update their subclass to a new one, and we will make it work in world, in universe. Luckily for us, hell is insane. All kinds of bonkers stuff happens. So it's actually not going to be all that out there that hell would impact magic, as we actually have already started to see in the game. So we will have story reasons for all of those changes, but when there are some changes, such as the fact that much to Pixel's pleasure, I will be allowing them to take potions as a bonus action. that I have not softened my heart, but yet gone to a rule set that has softened it for me. So you can thank or blame Wizards of the Coast as you may. I am indifferent on which you pick. So, anyway, with that, you'll also notice that we are down a no remark, a Cam today, who is spending the day with some family. So we wish him well. The way that we usually work that is that they are around. If they are important to the story, I will have them chip in. Otherwise, they are just assumed to be following the party and having similar success/failures as the party may experience. So I don't know if I've explicitly said that before, but that's how I operate characters who aren't there. But with that, I'm going to toss it back to Pixel so that he can introduce himself and his character.
Hey gang, I'm Pixel, and today I will be playing Phoenix Brightgrin, Dwarven Barbarian, general piece of crap, and #1 internet sad dad. I don't think I used my chat inspiration last time. Let me check my thing where I track that. I do seem to still have chat inspiration. And you can find me here on twitch.tv/Ages of Einor, where we do these D&D streams. I am thinking about the possibility of starting up a new player game, but my life is busy at the moment, helping mostly with Bonus Mom's new computer and my own work and me streaming and all kinds of stuff. So I don't have a solid date on that, just sort of a TBD in the future. And I will be reaching out to folks in the Discord when I have more information about that. You can also find me here on twitch.tv/HammerandPixel, where we have been absolutely going bananas on Final Fantasy XIV, which has been quite a blast. And in just totally unrelated news for everybody out there, if you're thinking about picking Final Fantasy XIV up and you happen to play D&D, I realized that it became much easier to explain how many of the mechanics of the game work if I started using D&D terminology. So think about your GCDs as actions and your OGCDs as bonus actions. I'm not going to belabor the point too much because that was gibberish to everyone else, but boy, was it a revelation for me. That's all I have to say on the matter. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. And speaking of Bonus Mom and her exciting and never frustrating computer, go for it, Bonus Mom.
I am Bonus Mom, and tonight I will be playing Bonnie Mama, a human warlock on a pathway of self-discovery who didn't actually know that she was wait a minute, warlock. Is that right?
Yeah,
It's been a month. And I do have chat inspiration, and I'm glad to be here. And the computer is wonderful, but there are a few little areas. Glad to be here after a month, and I'll see you a month after that. Once a month is too rarely, actually.
Agreed. All right. With that, McReese.
Hi guys, I am McReese. Tonight I am playing Raven LaFey, the tiefling druid. I can usually be found safeguarding Bonus Mom in all of her lives and in her tavern
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And also obsessing about Final Fantasy 14.
Excellent, excellent.
Also,
And
sorry.
last but certain, go on.
Bonus Mom and McReese, do you all have chat inspiration?
Yes, I
that?
do. Yeah,
Okay.
I said I did.
Okay, I missed it. I'm sorry.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Kaylee, go for it.
Hey everybody, I'm Kaylee or Christy. I am all over the internet, actually, in multiple places. Most commonly on TikTok under Kaylee1999, where I do a lot of book talk, book reviews, and unboxings and things like that related to that. I also am off and on streaming on Twitch, doing Dragon Age Inquisition, getting ready for the new game Veilguard, which is coming out October 31st, and I'm super excited about it. But I will not be doing that for the next couple weeks because I will be out of town. So I'm also in the Bonus Mom Discord, and on Tuesdays, normally, again, not in the next few weeks, but I also stream with the group Reality Break 20. We stream D&D and D&D related content. We're kind of on a break from an active campaign at the moment, but we are doing deep dives into virtual tabletops. So if you've ever wanted to know the nitty gritty of all the different virtual tabletops out there, that's actually what we're doing right now. So they will be doing that while I'm gone, so go check them out. Oh, and I do have chat inspiration.
Excellent, excellent. With that, we are moving back into our game. So a quick recap of what has happened. Our ever vigilant players have made their way into Avernus, seeking many things, but including those many things are seeking to save the city of El Terrell, which they are currently in, but unfortunately that city is in hell. But also looking to save one older Ravengard, who is the High Overseer of Baldur's Gate, and was trapped in the city when it descended. So our players made their way into the High Hall, where it looks like a number of the townsfolk are trying to keep safe, taking refuge there. And they had fought their way into the secret crypts underneath the sacred shrine of Torm. And with that, you guys descend down the ladder into a small area and to some steps.
Hang on, do I have...
Da-da-da.
Uh-oh.
Curse of Strahd.
There we are. That's the right names. Sorry, gangs. And I gotta move a couple things.
No big deal.
Sorry, guys. I haven't had to use this screen since Curse of Strahd. Uh-oh. Okay, let's hide. This, no, not that. Okay, there we go. My apologies, group.
No biggie.
There's
All right.
a lot to do here. Okay.
Okay. With that, as you guys are taking as you guys descend, you notice the crypt is very quiet and very, very dark. There are the lights that you have on you that you brought down, but that is about all you have. Come on. You are now in the crypt. Alrighty.
There we go.
With that, what would you guys like to do as you have just kind of descended here?
Not be in front if I'm in front. I'm squishy.
Okay, hang on. I gotta zoom out and zoom back in.
Okay, I was about to ask if you could move Cleo.
Yeah.
You can. For those of you, since we have updated, this is the new Cleo token. So if you are wondering, this is
Wow.
the new impish Cleo, who is very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Quite brillig, you might say. All right.
So does this come down to like a landing here?
Up actually. It goes.
Okay, up.
Yeah, so you kind of go down. You end up at the bottom of this is where the ladder is, and then it goes upwards, up and around to this here.
Okay.
So I know
I
it's not
think-
a super clear, but
I think Bonnie would stick pretty close to old Phoenix, following along. And she was she was kind of looking out for Cleo too. I think when last we played, they had kind of gotten attached.
oh, well, let me get Rhea in here too. I forgot about Rhea. She does exist.
Oh, and Lulu, right? Is she there too?
Yep, Rhea and Lulu. Yep, they're both here.
Okay.
Any
Go ahead.
sounds, smells, anything
Perception
kind of prickling at the
checks.
senses?
Lulu's definitely back here with bonus mom.
Perception.
Yeah, anyone can make that perception check.
Yeah.
18.
18,
17.
okay. Yeah, all right, so both of you will be able to get this. So it is very dank. It is a musty smell. It is stale air, but somehow still better than the brimstone and sulfur of the surface. There are tinges of it, but it seems like it has managed better down here. So, but musty nonetheless. In terms of sounds, you do hear some chatter coming from either side. It's not super loud, but you can hear a myriad of whispered voices that seem to be all kind of talking.
From which general
Both
direction?
sides. So there's only two doors out, one to the north and one to the south, and it is coming from both sides.
Well, since we don't have our usual scout, I will send Cleo ahead.
Yeah, don't forget, Cleo can turn invisible.
Oh.
Yep, I will
Imps
turn
can-
her invisible.
Yeah, imps can turn invisible. Yeah, feel free.
And
Imp
flip a
visible.
coin, head left.
All right. So when you
Is
get
that-
into this area, all right. So when you get into this area, you do see that there is a small stairway up into a small shrine over here. There's a small pathway to the north, or a south, and a small pathway to the north, and that is all you see at the moment. And the chatter is a little more legible from here. It is coming from both directions.
It's just nonsensical chatter.
Yeah, you're not able to really pick anything up. It's also like the echoed, you're basically hearing echoed whispers. It's not like an ominous echoed whisper, though. It just sounds like, you ever been in church when everyone's kind of whispering before service? It almost sounds like that. There's a little bit of reverb coming off of the, especially if you're in a fancy church where they got some stonework or something. It's kind of like that.
Okay. Just going to, again, guess and try to head towards possibly where some of the chatter is coming from.
North or south?
South.
All right, go ahead and move Cleo.
This way? Or up?
South would be down.
Okay.
North is always up on these maps, even though, okay, technically north and south don't exist in hell, but we're using our directions in order to maintain some semblance of existence. Otherwise, it would be insanely difficult to keep track of. So, yeah, south will always be down, north will always be up for our maps.
Okay.
Is Phoenix moving at all?
Yeah, I mean, I would go along, I guess, with, I don't want them to get too far ahead of us.
Bonnie is going to follow Phoenix with her friend, and I forget, is that who my friend is?
Yeah, Lulu's gotten really
with
close
Lulu,
with you.
but Bonnie is thinking hard right now because she did live in El Terrell, and she is just really pondering her memory banks to see if she has any idea that there was anything like this underneath the Grand Hall.
There were always rumors that it existed. It was one of those, it has to exist. There's no way it doesn't exist. but you certainly would never have been here.
Okay. She's also enjoying the humid air and is actually kind of breathing it in and even rubbing her face a little bit. She's old and dry, and that would feel wonderful to her.
Especially compared to the ludicrously dry heat of the surface of Avernus. It probably does feel a little bit more relaxing, at least as much as anything could be here. It's certainly cooler down here as well. Temperature-wise, it dropped a good 15, 20 degrees minimum. It is still hot, but you go from pouring sweat to just a trickle. So feel free to continue moving Cleo down into the bottom of that hallway if you'd like.
Okay.
All right.
Keeping the minimum,
I assume,
distance between what I have to close.
Oh, I mean, you can. It's like 100 feet or something. So like you can. It's pretty far. Like it's not. You've got some options. So there's a little doorway here. The hallway comes back here, and it comes back this way, as well as another little one this way.
Still no clarity on which way towards voices.
Let's have Cleo make me a perception check. Unless you want to do it through you because you're listening. Your choice.
Let's see. Perception is wisdom. I'll do it. Mine's way better. 25.
Okay, yeah. You are quite certain it is coming from this passageway right over here. The whispers are significantly louder from that direction.
Okay, I will send Cleo towards them.
Okay. And as she enters what is obviously a much larger hall, the largest one in the area, you see dozens of people. Maybe even 100 or more people. So the amount I have on here is not a good reflection of the actual number. It is pretty crowded in this area as you see dozens of people, all in hushed voices, many of them in rags. You see some wounded around. You see a large assortment of people who all seem to be hiding as best they can, dealing with their circumstances. However, there are two figures that stick out. One of them is a large but still haggard woman with gray hair who is obviously had a bit of a rough day, you might say. And she's holding on desperately to this enormous book with one hand, and with the other hand has what looks to be a mace, but it looks like the kind of mace where it like sits on a shelf to look pretty and be ceremonial, and you think if you actually hit anything with it, it would probably just immediately evaporate, but she has it anyway. The other figure is a large tiefling man who is in full plate armor, definitely have some battle scars, looking worse for wear, but is kind of looking over with a little more of a, I don't want to say calmness, but sureness of action. That's a good way to say it.
Anything about the armor or what they're wearing look familiar?
Yes, you would immediately recognize the armor from the tiefling man to be very similar to that of your friend, of your compatriots. He does seem to be a hell rider. Okay.
Anybody who looks 1%? Any elite? Any lords, ladies type?
Everyone is in such terrible shape that it is hard to differentiate between the high class and the low class in this. Okay. There are certainly people who, if you take a second to look, may have finer clothes, but their finery has been torn to such an extent that to make it almost laughable that they are even still wearing such garb.
Okay. Seeing as how the last time we got even relatively close to a Hellraiser or anybody Raina was associated with, she went running off. I am going to message Bonus Mom and tell her I am going to message Bonnie and tell her what I see in case it faces the woman with the book, anything that might trigger, and let her know that there are people in there in case she's got a way to greet people so we don't like scare an entire room of people. The angry dwarf and the tiny little tiefling and the smell of smoke coming off the air genasi.
Okay. So getting that message that there are actually people inside wherever I am. What happened to me? Where did I go? I don't see me. I'm going to move up through the crowd, whispering to
Where are
everybody
you?
as I
Probably
go. I must
underneath
be behind
somebody.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there maybe.
No.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, there you are. Okay.
That there are people
hiding.
inside that we've probably found the refugees and we need to reassure them. And I think given that, that actually Bonnie will move to the front. She'll, and she might nod to Phoenix as we go by saying, Phoenix, perhaps we should enter first. So,
I-
but
I
she's
think-
going on. She's going to go down the
Okay.
hall, and I think she's going to go around the corner on into the
I mean, I
room.
also think the Hellrider should come with us.
Yeah, Rhea
Oh
will
yeah,
go with you.
yeah.
Rhea, unless you specifically told her to
Yeah.
stay behind, she
Yeah.
would be kind of going out of her way to stick with you.
Yeah.
I know I've just seen another tiefling, but the hood still goes up and the tail kind of goes up under the skirt.
Old
So,
habits die hard.
so I'm hoping the three of us kind of enter this room. So have you called Clea back to you and gotten yourself back in your own eyes? And
She's still invisible.
Well, Cleo can be invisible and just hanging out there, and then she can snap herself back to her
But
eyes whenever she
can,
wants to.
can
Yep,
Raven?
I can see. Yep, I'm good.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I'm hoping all three of us kind of move into the area at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. No one really takes that much note of you is the most interesting thing. They seem to be pretty, I don't know, pretty demure.
Okay. Well, as she looks around the room, does Bonnie see anyone that she recognizes?
Make a history check.
Full on eclipse.
I
Disappeared
rolled
there
a
for a second.
19.
Black Lab
Bonnie rolled a
Eclipse.
19.
There are a couple people who you would recognize in passing. You see a baker who you used to know, someone who was an apprentice in the Weavers Guild who has grown much older. People who you may have known as you may have known when they were children, who now seem to be either older children or adults. The only person who might look any familiar at all, in terms of knowing, is the older clerical lady. You remember you have had one meeting with her before. She was one of the people who you talked to. One of the people who you talked to in the search for your son. You remember her name as one Faria Jinx. I will drop that in the chat for you. And you also remember her being one of the more sympathetic individuals in terms of although she couldn't do anything, she at least was willing to listen to you and was sympathetic to your plight, despite not being helpful.
Bonnie makes a beeline for her. Is she the one down there that we're looking in the red dress?
No, she's in
Okay.
the green up here.
Okay, wait a minute. I've got this a little bit large. Okay, then Bonnie is
back
gonna
down.
is
Yeah, the
going
two
to
of them
head
at the
for
end.
her. Is she going to be able to get there unmolested?
Yep, no one's bothering. In fact, you have to step over people, kind of crawl around and through people, but no one seems to be paying you the smallest lick of attention, as they are all much concerned with their own things. Some people look up a little bit, shocked that you are moving and acting so blatantly, as many of them seem to be terrified, and your demeanor is just quite different.
Okay. And you put
But
this name in our Discord
Discord.
chat?
yes, uh-huh. Yeah, Faria or Faria, probably Faria. So,
Oh,
um,
Miss Jenks, I don't know if you would remember me. I lived in El Terrell several years ago and had talked to you about my son who had disappeared. My son, Shay, who was a hell rider.
let's
How are you, my
see
dear,
if
and what's
she
happening
remembers
here?
you. Okay. As I roll a die. Oh! Nat 20 for her. She looks at you and says, "Why, yes, of course I remember you. Beneficent, was that right?"
Yes,
'Cause-
yes.
Yes, well, it's good to see you again, but I must admit I'm a little confused. I thought that my understanding after our conversation was that you would be leaving the city. I haven't seen you for some years. Were you here? Had you come back to visit when
No,
we descended? I'm so
no.
glad to hear that you are okay. I'm still so terribly sorry about your son.
Yes, thank you. It's been so long now. I have learned to keep going, and I did move away. But dear, I have actually come back, and I have brought some friends, and we're hoping to help. We need to
Well,
know exactly what is happening and
well,
what
what
happened.
brought you? What brought you back to Elturel? Where were you when the city descended? What happened?
Well, I
And about that time, before you can really get another word in, this tiefling man interrupts and says, "Did you say Shay? Shay Montmartre?"
yes, yes, my son, Shay Montmartre.
Yes,
Did you know of him?
I did. I can't say that I knew him well, but he was a hell rider that I did know briefly.
Well, you see, he left to do good, and then he never came back. And when I tried to find him, well, I couldn't. And what happened to him? Do you know?
I I know little. I had heard of his disappearance. I'm sorry that I cannot tell you more. I was concerned, of course, but was told that an investigation had been completed and that he had deserted. But I'm starting to
Oh,
think that may not have been the
he would
case.
never, he would never,
I was
ever.
un- I was under the same impression as you, but there was little that could be done.
But you saw him. How long ago was it? Do you remember?
Oh, 5 years or so. It would have been so take that with a grain of salt. It would have been around the last time you had seen him, probably a little bit after. Whatever that time scale would be. I'm blanking on exactly how long it's been from your
Oh,
backstory, but it would have been not too long after you had for the last time, but probably a little bit after that.
oh, it is so wonderful to meet you and even to have any word at all. Oh, it means more than I could ever say. What did you say your name was?
The name is Zevlor.
Devlor. Oh, Devlor. It is
Zevlor,
so
Z with
wonderful
a
to
Z.
meet you. Shay never ran away from anything.
I'm
Thank
inclined
you.
to agree with you.
Well, I have some friends. They're here to find out what's going on. They're we've been
You
gathered.
hear him chuckle. "Oh, Well, I'm sorry I don't know much, but I'm certainly glad to have more people, especially since you seem to be in better health than most of the refugees here. It is a tough time.
Is there anyone in charge?
They look back at each other. I believe that duty has fallen to us.
Well,
Unfortunately, the casualties were thick. I tried to go back and fight, but Pariah requested I stay down here with them. You see, I took a rather nasty injury myself.
Bonnie's in a little bit over her head. She, of course, is just the minute you mentioned Shay. So she's looking around to see what anybody else in the group is going to say or do, or kind of like she's lost track a little bit.
I mean, if I'm standing there and if what's her face doesn't jump in to talk, then I guess I'll talk.
Rhea has been oddly quiet. She did bit more like she just didn't want to interrupt. So say you could, if you had something to say, you probably would get in before she did.
Okay.
She's kind of waiting for what she sees as the right moment.
All right.
She's learned a little bit about rushing into things.
Yeah. Here's what we. First of all, I mean, I'm guessing we can sort of. I don't know that we can trust anyone in hell long term, but can I just do a quick insight check on these two?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay.
Anyone who would like to do that,
I'm
may.
not great at it, but
Okay.
4.
Inside. I think Bonnie
I'll do that.
definitely would
It's a
after
big hot
the man
4
talked
from
about Shay.
Phoenix.
And Bonnie
for
got
4.
another 19.
Okay.
That's a
22.
7.
All right. So for both of you, Bonnie, for Pariah, you only had heard of positive things about Pariah. You have some goodwill towards her, and the kindness she had shown you earlier makes you believe good things. And this Hellrider does strike you as rather upright. You get much the same temperance. In fact, from Zevlor, you get like a grim determination, a world weariness that shows that he has seen probably more than his demeanor would show. That he's holding it together, but below the surface, he's not handling it that well either. So
I guess with that, as he's thinking about speaking up, Phoenix does try to make eye contact with Bonnie and whoever else is nearby to just sort of like give them kind of an eyebrow of like, am I going to tell these people everything?
And see, Bonnie was hesitating about that too. The minute the woman asked her about where did you come from, whatever, Bonnie was starting to rethink things until the man mentioned Shay.
Sure. Well, but with your, I mean, but I not to meta here, but like Phoenix can't read these people. He doesn't know them from Adam. He's just checking in with everybody before making a decision here, kind of. So does anyone give him a thumbs up or down one way or the other?
Based on how Bonnie felt about the lady and the man was saying Shay, Bonnie shakes her head yes at you.
Okay.
Rhea also gives you kind of encouraging look that she seems to have positive feelings as well. And and she would say, Zevlor's usually one of the more respected members of the Hell Riders. I personally would trust him to say whatever you think.
Temperance would just be nodding along as well.
Fair enough. All right. Well, folks, my name's Phoenix. I was with the Flaming Fist. Through a long and unfortunate series of events, we have been transported into Hell to search for older Ravengard.
Oh, wait. You didn't come down with the city? Wait, you came here like... The Zevlor goes, you came to Hell willingly, and then he lets out very uncharacteristically like a belly laugh.
Well, here's the thing.
It's good to see you regardless.
We're from
even
Baldur's
if you're a little
Gate,
bit more
so
foolish than I
honestly,
thought.
we're from Baldur's Gate, so honestly, I don't really see a big difference. But jokes aside, Um. Okay, so what we currently understand is that, do I remember the name of this dingus who sold these people to hell?
Yes. Fabius Krieg.
Okay, and what proof do we currently have in our possession of that?
You do have a rubbing of the contract.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. This may be a bit of a surprise to you folks. Or not. I don't know. It seems that Fabius Krieg, you remember him, I assume?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we were so,
So-
glad he was spared this fate by going
well,
to we were so glad he was spared this fate by
You
going to Baldur's
may
Gate.
regret
We
those words
ensure
in
that
about
he-
3 seconds.
so
What?
we pull out the sheet and say, what we've come to understand through the course of, again, said series of unfortunate events was that Thavius had made a bargain with Zariel, the...
As soon as you say those words, you watch as Faria drops the book. She starts to white knuckle the mace, which you hear it creak a little bit, confirming your suspicions that it's actually a piece of junk. And Zevlor gets a look of absolute fury across his face. Something that you could never have imagined from a paladin.
I mean, I guess Phoenix tightens his grip on his longsword here.
He just goes, "That absolute scoundrel. Well, how did
Okay,
you find
all
this
right.
out, and how did you make your way here?"
Okay, great. That's the good way for this to go. Okay, so he shows him the contract and says, it seems like a long time ago, I guess, he made this bargain. It had to do with the Guardian, was it? Or
A companion.
the companion, yeah, some relic y'all had that it was to keep the city safe in exchange for the souls of everybody who signed their names in what I assume is that book right there.
Yes, that is the book.
Yeah.
That is the tome of the Creed Resolute. It has, and Bonnie, as you say that, you remember a day where you put your hand on that and swore an oath. And you also remember Shay putting his hand on it and swearing an oath. Watching your name be scripted in an angelic, handwritten, but in common font.
Yeah, so it seems like the price came due for whatever bargain that was, and they just sort of took the whole place and, yanked it down here.
So our souls are forfeit. I should have killed him while I had the chance.
Which
I
one of us
never
killed
thought he
him?
would have been that low.
Was
I
it
believe
me?
Rhea did.
Rhea,
I think
okay,
it
that's
was.
right.
Oh yeah. Rhea did, and then Neil.
Neil put a number in on him, but
Yeah.
Rhea was the one who
I think Neil took his head,
beheaded
didn't he?
him. Yes, I believe
He
Neil.
picked
I
it
think
up
we
and
needed
put it
it
in the
as
sewer.
proof or something.
Yeah,
Didn't
it
we
is
take
still
it
in
back to
Baldur's
somebody as proof?
Gate.
Yeah, I think we took
We
it
did,
back
yeah.
to whoever the
Yeah.
guy who sent us on the first mission was.
Yes, Zaj.
Zaj, yeah.
Zaj.
Zaj Podge.
Mhm.
Well, wherever his soul was destined for when he shuffled off that mortal coil, I guess it went there, because,
Well, I guess he's joined us in Avernus one way or another.
yeah. So that's sort of the state of things. We did notice on our way here, I believe we saw some devils and some demons fighting each other, but also killing a bunch of people. I guess, I don't know if that's just the blood war, if there's something else going on there, but it did seem like there were some rather curious critters here that I wouldn't have expected to see in hell, but I don't know.
This place is vile. It is disgusting. It is a blight. Its only remedy in the world is that it keeps them here and not other places. But unfortunately, we have had to join them. The blood war does rage. I saw glimpses of it while guiding people to retreat to the keep. We lost about a dozen of my men to a pit fiend before it bored with us. and flew back down to fight whatever beast it decided it wanted to tackle next.
So awful, so awful. Well, we're hoping to find something somewhere that could null the contract. That's why we're here. We're all doomed unless we do that.
Could I
Well-
take a look at that book?
Faria doesn't go down to teach it. She just nods.
And I'll reach down and pick it up.
Is it a good idea? I kind of reach for her wrist. Is it a good idea for you to touch it?
It
Well,
should be fine as long as you don't swear the creed.
I'm not signing anything.
Just don't swear to protect Elturel. It seems like that would be a foolish endeavor.
I'm not swearing anything,
Otherwise-
that's for sure.
Okay.
I swear a lot. Is that going to be a problem? Or...
I don't think it's the same kind of swearing.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think you're probably fine.
Great.
Do I get any sort of vibe on it, or just flipping through it? Is there anything that
Religion
out
or
about it?
Arcana check.
we're going to go with Arcana. Oh, nice. 21.
Dang, temperance is rolling. up.
Okay, yeah. So as you do,
It
you're
won't
able
last.
to you use you see some definitely divine markings upon it. Ironically, you kind of see that motif that we've become all too familiar with of the mix of divine and infernal. The infernal markings being incredibly subtle that you probably wouldn't have even noticed had you not rolled a 20 or above. But the celestial, the divine, is quite easy to see. As you scroll through, you can see the names go back. You see trends of names that you assume are family members, going back at least a full generation of every citizen, thousands upon thousands of names, and it is just a list of names. There is nothing else in the book. Best you can tell, although this was a means of adding people to the contract and it has some magical properties, it has no additional function aside from adding people to the contract.
So I suppose just throwing this in the nearest lava pit wouldn't solve our problem, would it?
I would guess not, Zevlor says.
Neil has identify, right? Could he maybe identify the book just to see what those other magical properties might be?
Yeah. If he identifies it, it's pretty simple. Basically, things like it never runs out of pages. It can spawn infinite pages. It can clean itself. It can all of that kind of stuff. Though I will say that Bonnie, you do notice some similarities between that and your book. Not total similarities. They're not exactly the same by any stretch, but motifs that are similar here and there, especially in terms of abilities, in terms of the, like it can't get dirty, it adds pages, stuff that your book also does.
You're muted.
So-
It's awfully interesting. That book looks very familiar to me. Bonnie says it, and she says it out loud, but not very loudly.
Well, I don't know what it would be better for you to keep it safe, just in case. She'll say to the pair of
Faria.
the Zevlor and Faria.
Yeah. Well, we can certainly keep it here. It isn't doing any harm there.
Does it have the oath written in the front of it? I can't remember.
And Temperance, if you scroll to the first page, you would see the oath is written just as you remember, just about swearing your mind, body, and soul to Elturel.
Interesting. I'll hand it back to Faria.
She waves you off and says, "You can set it on the ground there."
Fair enough. And Temperance will just unceremoniously just drop it.
No one seems to mind.
So, does anyone here have any knowledge of the whereabouts of Older Ravengard?
Yes, yes. Sorry, I interrupted before she got to that, but yes, he headed to the cemetery with a group of Hell Riders and his own guard who were still of sound mind. He was looking for to go to. There's supposedly a relic, an artifact, a relic of Torm in the cemetery that he was hoping may be able to give some divine providence. That was about a day ago, and we haven't heard back from him since then, though.
Relic
Okay.
of Torm, you said?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have the manpower to send anyone back over there.
Bonnie, do you know where this cemetery is that they're referring to?
You would, in fact, know where the cemetery is. It's right around the corner.
I believe that I do, yes.
Well,
And then Bonnie would probably say to him, is it the thus and so?
Yeah, it's called Torm Site.
Torm
Is the name?
site,
Yeah, Torm Site, and it's essentially the one that is right next to the church. It's like down the hill a ways, but it is the one, the classic cemetery next to the church.
Sure.
And
what is this relic he was after? Just do you all know what it is or is supposedly capable of?
yes, it is called the Helm of Torm's Site. It is named. The cemetery itself is named after the relic. It is said that one worthy of Helm could receive visions from it. I suppose he was praying for some divine intervention, which at this point seems to be as good of a hope as we have.
If my headset hadn't went wonky, you would have noticed Raven having a reaction to the mention of Helm.
So
Kind
when they
of
say helm,
reaction.
they mean a helm as in a helmet, not as a
Oh,
helm
okay. As in
as
the
in a
god.
god.
Okay,
Yes.
never mind.
Although Helm and Torm are buddies, they get along great.
Yeah, see,
They are-
See,
it's-
Helm has
they are-
Helm has a thing called the Torm of Helmsite as well.
Yes, he does have the Torm of Helm site.
That's amazing.
It's just a
or
cup,
the
I
Helm of-
think.
But but no. In this case, it is an actual Helm helmet.
Okay.
So sorry for the confusion on that.
That's great.
Okay. Well, obviously, this whole situation is pretty borked. I don't know where people are going to get food. The mortals here still need to eat. Hoodoosy's missing. Maybe there's a shiny hat that can fix our problems. Aside from that, I don't really know what to do here. I mean, undragging a city to hell does seem sort of difficult. We don't
You
really
see,
have
like,
any
people start
idea of
nodding.
where they might be keeping, the actual contract. Or whatever, I think.
Well,
'cause I
you
think-
have the actual contract.
Well, but I mean, I assume that we can't. I thought we needed,
No, you needed to find a loophole in the contract.
Okay.
You had
we have the contract.
you had
we need a
the
loophole.
physical contract.
Okay.
That was the contract, but just like law is metaphysically binding,
Yeah.
or at least social contractually binding.
Yeah.
The contracts here are metaphysically
So,
binding.
In order to find a loophole in the contract, just out of character, in order to find a loophole in the contract, none of us really understand the language of it well enough to do that. Is that kind of the vibe we're getting?
Yeah, you would have to find some sort of expert in infernal contracts.
Yeah.
Or,
So we need to.
or something. I will say divine intervention is certainly a relevant strategy,
Sure.
at least as relevant as anything else you got.
Yeah.
So Elder Ravenguard's plan is by no means insane.
Yeah.
If there is a holy relic that might provide some insight, that is
Sure.
as good of a lead as you have.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Barring that, you might need some other experts in the Infernal.
So I think basically Fenix kind of tries to sort of say that, and it's like, so we have this contract. If we're gonna fix this problem in a big way, I think we need someone or something that can help us find a loophole in this thing or some, fact of it. There is a thing with like they're supposed to protect the city. It don't seem super protected. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I don't know if there was like a time limit on how long they were supposed to protect it.
Or who they were supposed to protect it from.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're in hell. Where do they keep the magistrates and the solicitors?
Roll a religion check.
Okay, Bonnie. Bonus Mom has a question about Bonnie's understanding.
Yes.
Okay. Bonnie swore the oath to protect the city. Was there anything shared with her about what would happen if she just didn't do that? If she was somehow discovered not to have done it?
It was always assumed to be completely ceremonial.
Okay, and so Bonnie really wouldn't have given it any thought when she moved away or anything.
Nope.
Basically, you signed the census and took the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah. That is actually a very good good allegory there. It's pretty close to that. So right. Let me roll for Rhea too. Is anyone else rolling that religion check to see if they know?
That was a giant 7.
Fenix has very occasionally crushed these, but not this time. That's a 2.
Oh, Bonnie got a 9.
I got a 13.
Well, Neil's got the best. He goes, well, infernal contracts are often held in by some of the devil, the Lords of the Nine, but I don't know if they're the only ones. I'm sure Mephistopheles would know if we want to give him a quick chat.
It's like a bad
I would
idea.
imagine
it would be a terrible idea. I don't recommend it.
Devils would have a lot of contracts. Maybe they have clerks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard the words infernal bureaucracy before, and that sounds kind of like a thing that might.
Yes. They do are bureaucratic. That is for sure.
Okay, so I think maybe we should go look for the Duke or the thing he was looking for. And while we're doing whatever we're doing, just kind of keep an eye out for any devil that seems to fit a very narrow kind of combination of someone we can bully and someone smart enough to look at this contract.
You like
all
that
of those people, of course.
Skill, that Venn diagram might not overlap very much.
Yeah.
You want to find an infernal nerd.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Well, McReese, you've heard of fiendish librarians.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Raven has, but McReese has.
I like these people. Let's not take them into a library with me. It never ends well.
Zoinks. So, also, we need to figure out food. Can you eat devils? Does anybody know? Is that, or do they just like vanish and wisp away into dust or something?
Not here they don't, but I wouldn't defile myself by trying their flesh.
Bad idea too.
I mean, that's a hand grenade I'll be happy
Persephone
to jump on.
situation, is it?
Not to my
Or
knowledge, but I'm not sure.
Does anyone have
We're
the
surviving
magical
off
ability
the
to conjure
few
things?
rations we could have. We are luckily good in terms of water, as the fountains are endless fonts of holy water. And although under normal circumstances I would never allow or recommend the drinking of holy water, the gods will forgive us in such dire circumstances. And he points to the two fountains behind you.
Do any
Sure.
of us have any way of checking to see if the holy water is still holy?
Sure, religion check
Like,
if you want to.
like presence of good and evil, or I don't know any of
Detect
those
good and
things.
evil would in fact work for that.
Ooh, I have that.
If you want
Could
to cast
we
it,
check the water then with Raven?
yeah, detect good and evil would absolutely reveal that. So, are you casting that, Raven?
Yep. I was just looking
Okay.
for it so I could read the.
Yeah.
I mean, it will
so
take a spell slot, but I think it could be very important if we find out this water is still holy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and as you cast it, Raven, it does in fact show it to be consecrated water. It is in fact still two rich, clean pools of holy water.
This is it. This because I'm still looking for it. This isn't a spell that requires touch or anything, does it?
No,
Okay.
it basically works like detect magic, but with good and evil.
Okay. She's always been steered clear of kind of touching holy water, so she doesn't want to actually touch it.
Yeah. Again, though, as you kind of as that becomes kind of apparent as you look at it without touching, Zevlor would say, "The gods forgive us in such circumstances." And you'll see as he kind of pulls out a bowl, dips some of it, and then hands it to you. Please feel free.
And like nothing happens to him, like because growing up she would have been told that if she touched holy water, bad things would happen. So she
Yeah.
just looks kind of shocked and not appalled. That's the wrong word. Afraid when he goes to reach into the water, and then when nothing happens, she just looks really confused.
And he just kind of smirks and says, "My child, you must not forget the gods are good and understanding. They do not punish us when we are in dire need. Helm's grace extends to us.
People are not quite so kind."
No, they are not. Did you say, don't you wear a little helm brooch? Is that a thing that you wear? Yeah.
She
So he
wears
would
her
have
father's.
Yeah, so he would have picked
holy
up on
symbol.
that, and he points to the brooch as he says that Helm's grace extends upon us.
She kind of holds it for a minute and then tucks it back under.
And he would just say, "I must also apologize for the people here. There are actually a great number of tieflings among us, but most of them are occupying the chambers adjacent, as there have been several fights breaking out between the tiefling and non-tiefling citizens. We have been blamed for this.
Yeah.
I am well enough respected to not encounter their ire, but I apologize that even here you must deal with that."
They're terrified, and we remind them of what they're terrified of.
He nods. "It isn't fair, but it is understandable. We don't have to be okay with it, but we do have to be sympathetic through it."
Okay with it, no. Used to it, unfortunately, yes.
He nods understandingly.
Then she will take her hood down and relax. Tail kind of unfurls.
He gestures back to the bowl for you to drink.
She drinks.
And the only thing that you have had since you got here that still tastes like good sweet water.
It's normal.
All of the other swigs that you have been tasted like you did a charcoal purification through it. And This tastes like good, sweet drinking water.
She'll refill the bowl and take it to Bonnie.
Bonnie will absolutely drink and pass it on.
Yeah. All
And
of
she
you feel
almost
much
gets a little
better.
sob as that water goes down her throat.
I don't
Luckily,
mean to
you're
be,
kind
all
of
at full HP because you just had a
marveling
long
that-
rest, but
Her hand is wet and nothing is happening to it.
Yeah.
She's just
I don't
lost
mean
in
to
thought.
be sacrilegious or nothing, but does this stuff hurt devils at all?
it should, yes. That's not sacrilegious. It is, in fact, the opposite of that.
Right. He takes his like water skin and just sort of dumps unceremoniously nearby the water out of it and then fills it up from the thing. Just sort of like looking at his guy like, we cool?
Temperance
Yeah,
would
and-
do the same.
And here's the funny thing.
Yeah,
You
but
see
I
as
will
you
at
do
least
that-
put the water in another bowl or jar or something.
The funny thing is when you dip your water in your water skin, you see some of the particles float off and they just kind of dissipate in the water, keeping it crystal clear.
Phoenix just sort of shrugs, puts the cap back on it, and puts it with his stuff. Just sort of.
I would imagine Neil says something about using this water to wash behind his ears.
And he does so. He just kind of scrubs a little bit.
Oh, Neil, bless your heart. I'm not sure that matters here.
No, I
Thank
blessed
you
my
for
ears,
thinking
not
of
my
it,
heart.
too. Yeah. Oh, Neil. How far we've come.
Phoenix is wondering, are there any extra water skins anywhere? Probably
He
not.
goes, there are, but I'm sorry.
Empty
We
bottles,
must keep
maybe.
them here to water all of these hundreds of people.
Sure.
We are few enough already.
Do we have any empty bottles? He just looks at everybody.
You have
Do
some
we have
empty
any
health
what?
potion vials.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah.
Phoenix is
You could
thinking
probably
if
get-
we find a way to fill those up, we can either throw them like hand grenades or like affix them to a javelin and hurl that.
Yeah. You also know that you can coat a weapon with holy water and use it like you would poison, basically. You can get about I'll say 7 vials of holy water amongst the other things as Neil is rummaging through his bag and pulls out a couple of random bottles he has, and one of them he takes a little bone out of it and puts it back in there neatly in his bag for safekeeping.
I
As,
actually have a flask of holy water. I
There you
didn't
go.
know that
He's
I
got
had
another
it.
one.
I'll hand it over to Phoenix
Okay.
as well.
I mean, I think
also
we should
have a
sort of
flask of oil that I can dump out.
distribute it. Yeah.
Feel free.
I also have Alchemist's Fire, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Phoenix knows devils are like usually immune to fire, but like I don't think
You've
we can do
rolled
a
pretty
lot
high
there.
on devil checks. I think that
Yeah.
you've dealt with enough that you would have figured it out by this
So
point.
I almost think
I
like
think you told us that at one point.
maybe. So I don't-
Raven will recite something to Helm and kind of submerge her skyblind staff into the
Yeah.
water. Shillelagh.
Okay. So if we have 7 and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's like 5 of us. That's enough for everybody to have one. I guess it's enough for everybody, including Raya, to have one, or Raya to have one, and then somebody has 2.
Yeah, and I think it makes more sense to have Phoenix have more.
Okay.
You could always just smash it in someone's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll add 2, and I guess everyone else
Yeah, feel free.
go ahead and add.
As it's
And
a
then-
vial of holy water, a flask
Yeah.
of holy water.
Yeah. And then Kaylee, you can keep the extra one you already had
Okay.
on top of that. So
Sounds good. I'll make it 2.
You know, I'm gonna get rid of, if I can I get rid of one of the flasks of Alchemist Fire and
yeah,
you reuse the thing?
So yeah, the alchemist fire becomes inert once it's kind of like gasoline. If you pour it out, it's just going to evaporate.
Okay.
You would probably want to do that somewhere that's not here, but if you
Sure.
just like go around the corner back towards the entrance, you
Yeah.
could do it and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. You could pour
Okay.
out as many of them as you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, I'll keep one just in case there is anything we need to set on fire at some point, but
I don't think I know how to do this.
Just manage inventory, and then if you type in holy, it should be one of the first things that comes up.
In the filter?
Yes, I believe
yeah,
so.
and the filter.
There it is. Got it.
And then you
Thank
click
you.
add by that, and it'll... Okay, well... Just sort of looks at everybody. Are we going after Ravencard and this
I think we
artifact or
have
whatever?
to.
I think that makes the most sense. The only other thing that it might be worth looking at some point is that companion. I don't know if smashing that will help, but
Good luck. It descended higher into the sky. It's a couple 100 yards above the city.
well, that's right out then. So yeah, I think the cemetery is the best bet. Unless one of us develops wings.
Well, either way, I'll show you the direction that they went. As he, Zevlor starts to walk this way. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, sorry. And as he comes up here, there's a little statue back in this recess, and he kind of pushes it aside that reveals a small pathway back behind.
That's handy.
I imagine they had anticipated, although not in hell, needing to use this place as a shelter. It's always smart when under siege to have a secret route.
Will we
Not a bad
be
idea, given
Will
how
we-
people outside of Antrel feel about y'all.
We
Will
are
we be
not
able-
always as well liked as we might want.
will we be able to get back in where this lets out?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I haven't followed it myself. I didn't even know it was here.
Yeah, once we get out, Bonnie should be able to guide us to the cemetery.
I think I can, yes.
Well, if you're heading that way, then may the strength of Helm and the justice of justice of Torm guide you.
Is there anyone here in these people who has the ability to receive or send messages?
Maybe Faraya. I'm not sure how far her clerical abilities extend. Anyone can receive a sending spell or message, though.
Well, we will try to let you know what is happening, and if you have anyone here that can send a message, if you need to send it to us.
We will, although I must tell you, anyone who was powerful enough to cast a spell of that sort was already equipped to go fight.
I understand. Freya,
Yeah,
You
Faraya.
remember
She would
my
have come with
name.
you as well.
she's
She
but
would
she's
have
not
come.
going with us to the cemetery.
No.
Okay, that Bonnie would look at her
And
and
neither
say,
is Zevlor.
"Remember my name if anyone needs to get a message to us."
Of course.
Boniface Montmartre.
Of
Thank
course
you,
we will.
Faraya.
And at that point, Zevlor will put a hand on your shoulder and say, Shay was a good man.
Oh,
I don't know what happened to him, but maybe this place may have answers for us. Maybe that is why you have come back to us. The gods
Perhaps.
work in mysterious ways.
Perhaps. We don't always get the answers that we want. We don't always get answers. And I'm sure
certainly
you know
true.
now, we just all have to put one foot in front of the other until we can't any longer. Thank you so much.
He nods
Take
sympathetically.
care.
It has been a genuine pleasure to see you here. It is nice to have some hope once again, if only a small amount.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And Bonnie's going to move towards the opening of the statue.
It's about this time, Temperance. You hear a small whisper at the back of your head that just says, "Ah, my child, you have come back to me." And that's where we're going to take our break.
Of course it is.
Great. Awesome.
Huzzah!
Quick 10-minute break.
Alrighty, gangs. It is 8:16. We'll be back around 8:26. See you in a bit.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory, rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was rent shall be restored. What was lost now shall be found. The price of valor ever rising, but victory brings new rewards. Tales of glory, might, and wonder, hard-fought battles, treasures won. Our heroes know their fate awaits them, and so they carry on. Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was rent shall be restored. What was lost now shall be found. The price of valor ever rising, but victory brings new rewards. Tales of glory, might, and wonder, hard-fought battles, treasures won. Our heroes know their fate awaits them, and so they carry on. Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was
Hello, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being patient with us, and we're gonna jump back in.
All right. Temperance, how do you react?
I think she would ignore it, honestly.
Okay.
I think she would, hearing that, and especially coming like right on the heels of that conversation upstairs, she's just like, that's unsettling, and will ignore it.
Okay. Yeah, and you don't hear anything else. But it is the raspy, echoey voice does kind of stick around in your memory. What is everybody else doing?
Well, are we out of the place yet?
I assume you're going down the hallway. Is that right? Is that what you're
Yep.
doing? Is anyone not doing that or doing
Mhm.
anything before you start heading
Nope.
that way?
I think we're
Bonnie
headed that
would
way.
just be walking ahead, but she also, in her mind, is trying to remember, knowing that this world probably looks pretty different, how to get to the cemetery. So she's thinking more about that than anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so you come out of the you walk for probably 20-30 minutes down this hallway. It does seem to slope downward a little bit. And eventually it comes out not all that far on the outer side of the city. And however, as it comes out on the side, you notice that this probably once may have dumped onto the countryside, as now there is just, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by Weasley being so freaking adorable. He
Oh.
is such a good boy. We love him.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
only
Listen-
words only speakable by people who
See,
are not
I'm
living in
holding
this
on to
house.
him because he doesn't like this. And if I hold on to him, then he will be so glad to get away that he will run away. So
no,
I'm
I
doing a little
understand. That's
reverse
how Kate is.
psychiatry.
And
Yeah.
has it worked for a while? I think he's training you just to cuddle him.
See, you think you're doing reverse psychology on him, but he's actually doing it on you.
He doesn't look
Look at that
particularly
face.
upset. Like, this isn't great, but
Anyway,
oh god.
so you come out and there is a little walkway. It extends about 10 or so feet and then nothing. And you look over what seems to be an endless salt flat. You look over hundreds of feet below as thousands of little dots rush at each other in loosely formed lines. Echoes and clinks of a distant battle that you see.
Is that is th- is that is that hell?
This is hell, Rhea said. Lulu says, it's not very fun. The one landmark breaking up the endless salt flats and the small dots is the snaking line of the river that opens up directly underneath you. As large as any river you've ever seen, with its dark red hue, too cloudy to see even an inch below its surface, but even from this distance, looming large in the landscape.
Does Bonnie know where the cemetery is supposed to be?
Yes, it should be, luckily, as you kind of orient yourself, it should be up a hill and around the corner. It should still be within the city. This is going outside of the city, so you should be fine.
Well, we don't have to go there now. We need to go this way. And she'll beckon, point in the direction they need to go.
Yeah.
And
You
be
make
ready
your-
to go.
Yeah, and you make your way back up, kind of in the opposite direction, but not totally. And it's not a very long walk for you to get to the gates of this what must have been an absolutely remarkable cemetery. You do see a sign at the start of the cemetery that says no partisan political activities on these premises. But unfortunately, the 10-foot tall gate and fence that had once kept everything in has been shredded and has gaps in many places where a kindly staff member stood there and was rudely pushed aside. Unfortunately, you also see the remnants of the soldiers who Bonnie would have known were here to protect the place. Not at all unlike the guards of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And in their fine regalia, they did, in fact, perform their duty to the very last.
Recent, or what, has it been a while?
It's hard to tell because of how mangled the bodies are. Even worse, some of the bodies, you notice that the companion, although it is dark above you, does flash with light occasionally, and the almost strobing light effect casts an uneerie effect on these bodies that make them seem as if they're moving, as if they're undead. But it only takes a quick glimpse to see that they're not. You can't tell if it's a cruel magic, a normal illusion, or something in between.
I think, especially coming after hearing that voice in the back of her head, Temperance would have a shudder kind of go down her spine and just double check that her mage armor is still in place and take a moment.
Yeah. You see, the first thing you see are the dozens of bodies along the fence line, hundreds of gravestones dedicated to different good gods, though primarily Lathander, Torm, Helm, and Tyr. And a once holy structure at the top of the hill that glows with a nasty, fetid purple radiance. And that's when you see the movement. Beyond the gates, the flashes of light reveal that although the bodies along the fence line are not moving, the bodies within the cemetery are. Dozens, if not hundreds, of zombies, skeletons, and other minor undead roam aimlessly upon this once sacred ground.
Raven hides behind Temperance and goes, nope, 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 nope.
Rhea kind of grips her sword angrily, but doesn't know if she can do anything.
Just mentally going through the spell decks in her head. I don't think druids know what to do here.
Well, I don't think I have anything that can help with this. I definitely don't know what to do.
Well, we need to not be seen. And perhaps we need to get to that building over there and see, can we
Oh, by the way, have a map.
pass without a trace to that
I can do pass without a trace. And I can make Druidcraft do some really pretty roses. Can't do anything about the dead.
Oh, there we are.
You guys would be along the back here.
Well,
but
we'd
you
need
can
an
go ahead
awful
and do
lot of
that.
turn undead, wouldn't we? Hundreds. Okay, is this supposed to be in focus?
Zoom all the way
Zoom
out.
all the way out.
Okay, I
and then you
will.
can zoom back in.
I wasn't sure.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's Bonnie's suggestion is we try to avoid the zombies and get to that building, knowing that the building doesn't look too great, right? It's got some kind of dark lights. But one would have to think if that man made it here, he would have tried to get somewhere safe. And I assume we are not seeing his body laying on the ground. And would we recognize him if we saw it? Because he's Baldur's
Phoenix
Gate.
certainly would recognize the older Raven Guard. There's no question that Phoenix would. I'm not sure if anyone else would, but Phoenix would know older Raven Guard by sight. So
Are any of the either the dead around the fence or any of the zombies look like they were Hell Riders, like recently dead, or like
Perception check.
from that party? Seven. Temperance is too freaked out to look closely.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Do we see doors on the building?
Yeah, you see several. They seem to be just kind of thrown off their hinges and open.
Oh, okay. Like they wouldn't be able to be closed again, thrown off their hinges?
Yeah, they look pretty busted.
So even if we can get in there, shelter's questionable.
Well, we can't stay here.
No.
I vote we head for over there, unless someone has a different idea.
I really don't. And I don't have anything that can really help. Like I said, the best I can do is a really big, loud noise that causes a lot of destruction. And a few breezes, maybe.
I think that would be a last resort.
I don't think
somehow.
I got anything either. But we do got all this holy water.
That's true, but I feel like we should try to save that.
Yeah, let's just try to
Well,
sneak
It's not gonna-
with pass without a trace up.
It's not going to help us for hundreds of these things.
Mm-mm.
Go ahead and roll that stealth check with the +10.
Oh. 16
See,
for
one
me.
thing that I have that could help, I know this, I feel it deep within myself, but I think it has to be a stand in one place, is I can put a magic circle around
Yeah.
us.
It's static.
Yeah,
Does not
so
move.
if we make it to the place,
But also the
I
cast
can-
time on that is really long. It's like an hour or something, or 10 minutes.
well,
I think it's a minute to cast and it lasts an hour, or maybe it's 10
that is
minutes
correct.
to cast.
It's a minute to last in it. But if we can do our best, if we, as a last resort.
So that's with disadvantage, it's a 27 for Phoenix.
Hey.
With
Good
the
Phoenix.
10, it's 17.
Yeah, I got 16 with the 10. So
Phoenix is
pass
creeping.
it. Let's see.
Phoenix
at
So what we're
disadvantage,
doing
be
is
sneaking.
Is a stealth check, right?
Yes.
21.
Two of us are just freaked out.
yeah. I think Temperance has like a death grip on Raven's like forearm, like right like that.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Rhea with the 29 at disadvantage. She is not messing
Nice.
around with these
No
undead.
kidding.
Not having it.
Yeah.
Rolled 2 18s on that.
The two people in heavy
disadvantage.
armor are so
Right, I was just gonna say
quiet.
our clinky clanky players are like really sneaky. Those
They're-
of us
it's
not
one of
wearing
those
armor.
things. It's one of those things where they're extra aware of it, and because they're extra aware of it, they end up being a little better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Meanwhile, you can hear my teeth chattering.
Yes. All right. So you can go ahead and start moving yourselves along.
God.
A group of them, you notice, comes directly in front of you. And you're actually not sure if they notice you or not, because they take literally no interest in you whatsoever. They just breeze on by.
Yay.
And that's when you guys notice, about a couple of 30, 40 seconds later, whoever is bringing up the rear, looks like that might be Raven. You see in your peripherals one start to walk past you. And a whole group of them walk through amongst your party a little bit faster than you are as you sneak, and don't interact with you in any way, shape, or form.
Do we shiver when they pass through us? Do we feel anything at all?
Whatever your character would feel, yes, but nothing extra magical.
So are they just going like between us, or like ghosts through us?
No, just between you, like
Okay.
walking through a
Okay.
crowd. Like you're walking slowly in a crowd, and they are walking faster, like you are in their way, like you are in New York City, bustling through the street, and the inhabitants are trying to get past the tourists.
Are they headed in the same direction that we are? No, they're just
This
randomly.
particular group is, but you see groups wandering in every different direction. So although this one particular group seems to be kind of walking in that way, you don't think that is for any particular reason.
Bonnie just makes no contact, doesn't look at their heads or their faces. She has her feet down and she's walking. She is kind of looking like from side to side if anything starts to get in her view, as she looks down, but she's not looking at them in the face. And
Yeah,
she's still
gotcha.
heading for the building.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you guys make it a good way up.
Raven is very
When-
conscious of keeping everybody within 30 feet.
Yes, and all of you start to feel a rumbling as let's see. Raven, you would have noticed it first. I think you have the highest passive perception. You thought it was a dead cow skeleton as it starts to assemble itself.
Oh, crap.
Oh no, what?
And rise. And then as does another one. And as does another one.
Not
Let's
cows.
roll initiative! Mad cow disease!
Wow.
Okay. Where's my orchestral rock fight? Here we go.
Now you give me the nat 20.
Aw.
Brutal.
At least it's
This
on
is one-
initiative and it wasn't on the stealth roll.
I would have been a bit of a waste. Yeah.
Okay, I need a roll for Rhea. Okay.
Norman didn't like the unicorn dice, but apparently Raven does.
Speaking of which, unsurprisingly, Raven, you get first turn. And unsurprisingly, as all of you were on high alert, no one is surprised because duh. You were in fact well aware that danger might be present.
And they are like well aware of us.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Okay. I am going to kind of panic react because that always turns out well for me. And cast second level Dust Devil at colors, please. Red. Strength save 15.
Okay. Strength save. Nat 1.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. That. 6 damage,
Okay.
and he's caught up in a dust devil,
Okay.
and takes.
Is it difficult terrain?
Creature takes a bludgeoning damage, push 10 feet away.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so just push 10 feet away. 5, 10. Cool. And is that a concentration effect? Does that stick around?
It's concentration up to 1 minute.
Okay, I want to get you a little.
Because as a bonus action, I can move it around.
Okay. Give you a little. Okay. You should be able to move that now. Okay. You can place that where you would like it to be.
Mhm.
So that's after he was already pushed. It doesn't move with him as he's pushed.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Excellent. Okay, that would take us to Temperance.
Sorry, I'm writing the order down. Temperance is going to cast Bane on all 3 of them.
Ooh. What kind of, is that a whiz save?
That is a charisma save.
Ooh, that's even worse.
Do these dead cows
That's a
have
negative
riz?
1. No riz.
think these are the
Negative
most-
aura.
The most rizless dead cows I've ever seen.
Yeah. The second one somehow passes.
Oh, boo.
And then third one fails. I don't know how Blue managed to avoid that. Somehow got a 16, including their -3.
Wow.
So
Yep. So they have to roll a d4 and subtract that number from any attack roll or saving throw.
you got it. Okay, bonus action.
Let me look. Bonus action. I'm gonna hang on to my bonus action for now. I don't think
Okay.
I'm gonna use it.
Phoenix.
Okay. So first things first. Bonus action rage.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Phoenix goes into a rage. And oh boy, we're like surrounded. Okay, the two of these guys have been baned.
Yeah, so I'll say they probably have like
Okay.
wind tunnels around them, basically, as a visual like of
Yeah.
what Bane would look like for Temperance.
Okay,
So no,
I'm gonna
no
move...
effect of the wind, but they could just look like they're being blown
Yeah.
in a high windstorm.
Okay, so that's my bonus action. And then we're gonna take our longsword, and we're gonna reckless attack.
Okay.
Okay, that's 22 to hit.
It sure does. Oh, dang, I forgot to update your token. I'll do that when I have a moment.
Okay, no worries. 9 damage. Second attack. Reckless,
Yeah.
obviously still. Oh dang, that's a crit.
Hey.
Okay,
You do be critting.
and that crit damage. Oh, I
That's
should have just
+8.
rolled 1.
Yeah.
Well,
It's,
like,
you can
okay.
just use the 5 there.
5,
so
so-
18.
Nice.
Okay.
I gotta remember that in the future. Okay.
Excellent.
And that's on blue, obviously.
Yeah. There are new crit rules in the new handbook, but I don't know what they are yet. They haven't exactly said what they are, just that they are updating them. So
All good.
we'll see what that is before we continue on with what we do. Not that I have a problem with it, but we'll talk about it. Okay, bonus action movement. I think that's it for you, Phoenix, unless you want to move more.
No, I don't think I do.
Bonnie, now you are in melee with blue, so if you do Eldritch Blast or Guiding Bolt, it would be at disadvantage.
Well, Bonnie is thinking on her feet. I love that about her. And she's casting through her mind all the things she's learned that she can do. And she's afraid that if she were to try to hex one with necrotic damage, that might even make them healthier. So she knows she can't do that. She realizes she's in close range to that one. It looks like the one back behind her as she whirls around, and Phoenix is maybe going to take care of Blue. I think she's going to fire off, and because it is an undead, she's going to fire off Sacred Flame. What?
Hold on, I'm having an audio issue, guys.
Uh-oh.
That's no good.
Do we need to take a break to fix, or just roll with it?
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can. Can you hear
Yeah.
us?
That was exceptionally weird. I'm so sorry. Continue,
okay.
continue, Bonnie.
Well, what Bonnie is going to do, because it's radiant damage, not necrotic, she's going to turn around and fire off a Sacred Flame at Green.
Okay. Alrighty.
Realizing that she can't do the other thing. Okay.
Rolled a 13 on that check. Does that save for you?
Is that minus the Bane?
It is not minus the Bane, but I think it fails either way.
Okay, no. Oh, so a Sacred
Okay, it definitely
Flame.
fails because it's a 10 now. So,
Oh.
all right, go ahead and roll damage, Bonnie.
Oh, I need to be on. I lost the page I was on. Okay. Sacred Flame. It's 2d8s because I'm 5th level, and that is 9 points of damage.
Excellent.
And does it look like it took with him?
Looks like it took the exact amount of damage you were expecting.
Okay.
Okay. Bonus action or movement?
Well, since we're all like together, and if I move, I could create opportunity. I think Bonnie stays right where she is. Doesn't want to get out of the stealth, be the pass without a trace or anything. There she is.
Okay. Rhea is going to charge up here and make an attack with her longsword. 17 does hit. Are we gonna blow a smite? Yeah, we'll blow a smite on this. It's undead, so we get the extra. Okay, just a first level smite though. Okay, so it's going to do nice, maximum 13 slashing damage and 14 radiant. Disgusting. 27 damage in a single attack.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice.
And which one was she headed after?
Green,
Same
the same
one,
one,
the green
that
one
you
also.
hit. Yes.
Okay, how's he looking?
Not fantastic, if we're being honest here. Second attack on her end. Okay, that's also going to hit, but she is not going to use another smite. And she's going to do max damage again for 13. Who is this?
Nice.
And what have we done with Rhea?
No kidding.
Who took Rhea away?
Loving it.
Rhea doesn't hit and do damage.
It was the time off. She found herself.
She sure did. Okay, well, they're angry and it's their turn. And this first one is going to attack Rhea. Because of course it is. First, it's going to make a gore attack. 16 will miss and will make a great axe. And that will miss. Okay.
Yes.
Dang. So I know where Rhea went. She traded places with one of them cows.
Okay, you watch Raven as this one is running directly towards you, head down, throws its head at you, and is going to make a gore attack. Oh, that is a 25 to hit.
Ooh, I don't even
Oh,
think Bane's
yeah.
gonna help with that one.
No, unfortunately. I'll roll the Bane. Well, it is a 23 instead of the 25.
Oof.
Still hits.
Cool. Then you're going to take 24 points of piercing damage
Oof.
as
Oh.
its horn goes directly into your sternum. I also need you to make a strength saving throw.
Sheesh. And then a
Oh.
concentration check for
Yeah.
Yeah, I will need to do that
the other
too.
thing, right?
At a 16 on strength.
Okay, let's see. Okay,
17
you
on
do
con.
not get thrown and knocked prone by it. You somehow are able to stand strong against the attack, but it does hurt a lot. Cool.
Can I blow a hellish rebuke?
You absolutely can. Okay, that's a dex save, right?
I think so.
13.
Where'd it go? It's just there.
With Bane, minus Bane.
Yeah,
9.
that's a fail.
All right.
I'm just gonna
Forty.
keep saying it. I'm just gonna be
Please
annoying
do.
about it.
I hope that you do.
That's
Or
a 9.
no, 9 points of damage. Okay.
Yep.
I'd rather you remind me than not have it done. These things are kind of glass cannons. They don't have a lot of HP, but when they hit you, they hit you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. So last one's turn against Phoenix. It's gonna start with a gore,
Okay.
which it has advantage on. That's a 22. Does that hit you, Phoenix?
That does hit, yeah.
Okay, I don't think there's anything that I can do on that end. And that one is not baned either.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine, right? It's piercing damage, so.
Yeah, 13, half to 6. And it's going to have its massive great axe swing at you. That's a 24.
Also hits.
Another 14, half to 7 damage.
We're fine.
Raven!
Okay. Trying to remember what spells I have.
Don't forget, you are in melee, so any ranged attacks would be at
Yeah.
would be a disadvantage. Go ahead and roll that concentration check to see if you still have your Dust Devil. It's DC 12.
11.
Yep. No more Dust Devil.
Oof.
Okay, so
Ew.
bonus action. Shillelagh.
Okay. Did they make it a hit?
$19.
Does hit. Roll damage.
And don't forget, I dunked it in holy water. 5.
So, good news, bad news. Good news is that does work. Bad news, it's like poison. It only works for like a minute after you coat it. So,
No.
yeah. But I have further good news. As you smack it, it seems to do. You see the bones crush underneath your staff as it really does a number on it.
Yeah, because even without the holy water, it's a magical staff.
Even without that, it does more than you were expecting.
Bludgeoning.
Oh.
Bludgeoning, yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix would know skeletons and bludgeoning
Yeah.
damage are not friends. Well, it's your friend, but okay. Temperance.
After watching it gore Raven, it's probably not the smart thing to do, but she's going to instinctively reach out with a shocking grasp.
Okay,
To
no
Red.
advantage, no armor on this one.
Yeah, okay. 14?
Will hit.
All right.
Nice.
Glass cannons, I'm telling you.
Yeah. And that's 8 damage.
Okay, with what kind of weapon? Oh, with
It's a
shocking.
lightning.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shocking.
Yeah.
And
Um,
it can't take reactions.
And it can't take reactions, so I
And it
assume
can't
you're
take-
going to move away.
I am. Just seeing if I can. Oh, and I cast a spell, so I can't do that then. Ooh.
You
Okay.
cast a cantrip,
Oh, so I can still do like healing word.
leveled
then,
spell.
right?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
absolutely
okay.
healing word.
Cool. I
Yep.
always get that rule wrong. All
Yep,
right.
It's a cantrip, so you can still cast whatever you like.
Sweet. So as I run away, I'm gonna shout a level 2 healing word at Raven.
I will also say you could quicken spell cure wounds if you want to do even more healing.
I don't
If
have cure
you're-
wounds.
Oh, well, never mind. You can't do that then.
I can't. I would if as I was looking for that, and I realized I don't
This
have
is
that.
where I put my cure wounds. If I had one.
If I had one.
Okay.
So a level 2 healing word for that's max at least, so 11 points.
Nice.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna get off that so that I can actually do something. There we go. And then I'm just gonna 10, 15, 20, 25 go that way.
And I say I'm squishy. I mean, I only have 38 hit points total.
You have more than me.
You're
And
the
that's my
same
turn.
as Bonnie.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Phoenix. I think I know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to cast Bonk.
Yep. I mean, you don't know. I could take out the alchemy jug and get acid out of it and pour it on him. Who knows?
That is true. We could do
I'm
that.
could do
sure
that.
Neil has a cast iron skillet in his bag. He can always cast iron.
That funny. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to waste the time getting my flail, which theoretically would do more, but that would take like a whole turn. So we're just going to...
No. You can stash your stow a weapon with as part of an action. As long as you just drop your regular weapon, you can pick up the mace as part of the action.
I mean, it's in my backpack. I'd have to like get in there to... I mean, if you'll let me swap to the silvered flail,
I'll let you do it. The
All
way
right.
I understand it, I mean, is it in your backpack or is it really more just like strapped to something?
I mean,
Is it, like,
in my
strapped along the
equipment, I
side?
have it listed in my backpack.
Again, like it's in the backpack in terms of it's there. It might just be on the side. You reach back and pull it over.
Sure.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that seems
sure.
completely reasonable, like something Phoenix would do.
Okay.
So,
I mean, sure.
if
Okay,
you want
so
to use
I will...
if you want to use the flail, you
I
can
will
use
drop
the
the
flail.
sword and pull out the flail. It has slightly less to hit, but I think the extra damage will be hopefully worth it. Reckless attack.
Reckless also counteracts a lot.
That's another
Oh
crit,
my
baby.
God.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
oh, this is gonna be gnarly, dude.
This is gonna be so disgusting.
Oh
Yes.
boy. Okay, so
Ugh.
I'm gonna do a regular roll, not the crit damage, right? And then we're gonna add 8 and then 6 and then double it because of the vulnerability.
It's the whole. I just picked
Yeah.
the entire thing. When the entire
Okay,
thing is done,
so 6
then
plus
I
6
double
is
it.
12, plus 8 is another 18. And
Wait,
then
wait, plus 8 would be 20. 12
6
plus 8
yeah,
is
12.
20.
Yes, 20.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm about to say.
I had 18 on the brain from the last crit. Yeah, so that's 20
Okay.
before the vulnerability kicks in.
Yeah, so you see as he drops his sword and he grabs this flail and in one movement he takes it and you watch as he brings it down and you watch as this thing disintegrates under this silver skull and turns into a large pile of dust directly in front of you, dropping this massive great axe.
All right. Well, that is the first attack.
Jesus.
He'll slide right on over to red for attack number 2.
Yeah, I'm a green. Phoenix is having lucky dice today.
Yeah, it's gonna. Don't worry, gang. It'll hurt me later. That is 24 to hit.
Yeah, roll damage.
Okay, that's not so lucky. That's minimum damage 7.
Okay, it's still 14 damage.
Yeah, it is still 14 damage.
Bonus action.
Sure.
I will remind you, I do allow, as a bonus action, you to do a shield bash, which would be bludgeoning damage.
Right.
However, you wouldn't add your strength modifier to it, because it counts as an offhand strike. It would just be a d6
right.
flat. Your call.
I'll just stick with the armor spike.
Fair enough.
Because I have to. That's a d6 or d4 plus 6, so I'm guaranteed 6 damage if I hit. Versus I'd have to roll a certain amount to.
Yep.
Okay, 23 to hit.
Roll damage.
2 plus 6 is 8.
Okay. As he turns and slams into this one.
Yeah, I think it's like a shoulder charge on this one.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that one's also not looking great. Although better than the one that took the nasty smite from Rhea, it's still not looking good. Okay. Bonnie.
You're muted, bonus mom.
Bonnie is looking at her comrades. Everybody is looking hurt. She can do something for somebody who looks the worst.
Raven by a lot. It's not close.
Okay. Then Bonnie is going to use her part of her healing light and
How many d6s of it?
as a bonus action, she can heal one within 60 feet. And if you think she needs it in a lot, then she's going to do 3 d6s at once.
All right. Go for it. And also don't feel free to add the 3 temporary hit points, McReese. I'm home ruling that since that's a little underpowered for her.
There's a way to make this be 3 at once, isn't there? Well, I'm just going to roll it.
Yeah, if you just click the d6 3 times, it would roll.
Okay, there we go. Okie doke. So that is 10. I wish it were more, but that's 10 for Raven.
That's pretty good, honestly.
That was a bonus action. So for the regular action, she's still focused in on green for that. And because of the not using the sacred flame and not knowing if she'd have to run over to the force, she is going to fire off another sacred flame at green. Oh, and he has to do a
dex
saving throw, right? And is that my spell save DC?
Yes, and it looks like Bane is going to come in handy because that would succeed, but a 15 would succeed, but an 11 will not. So
great.
Go ahead and
12
roll.
points of damage then. The 2, because I rolled it early.
This one also evaporates in a puff of light. Okay, very good. That's bonus action. Would you like to move, bonus mom?
I don't think so. I think I'm gonna stay close in case I gotta do some healing light for somebody else.
Okay, Rhea's turn. She ran one direction. She's gonna turn and run the other direction, and make 2 attacks. Yeah, that'll hit. This one's starting to. I rolled the wrong thing. Let's try again. 6 damage. That's the Rhea we know.
I mean, she did hit though.
Yeah, she did hit, which
is
still better than usual. She has to roll really badly to miss.
Yeah.
Okay. She misses. No, she doesn't. That hits. That does hit. 13 does hit. Just absolutely just damn barely. Just damn barely.
Okay, she's gonna make up for it on damage.
We'll see.
Right.
Another one. Here
Nope,
we go.
minimum
there
again.
it is.
6 damage. Oh, Rhea. Okay, attack obviously on Phoenix because
Yeah.
you are reckless. And these things are not smart enough to realize you're taking half damage. I rolled from Rhea, not from you. Rhea is not attacking you.
No, ow.
That would be pretty bad if
Damn.
she were. Great Axe attack. It cannot gore again. That's only a 16 to hit, so that's
Does not
it.
hit.
And it is Raven's turn once again.
Dang.
Another swing with the shillelagh. 24.
Roll damage.
Six.
12 damage.
Nice.
Bonus.
No, I really don't have any good bonus actions other than shillelagh.
Temperance.
From where I am, I'm going to shoot a sacred flame at it. So dex save.
All right.
the
It is
bane.
unlikely to succeed on that. It somehow does with a 19.
Minus the bane.
Shouldn't matter. That would be a 15, even when
Oh,
minus the bane.
That's true. Okay.
So yeah, it is a 15. It does. They've been rolling
Boo.
terribly on this, but 15.
Lame. Okay.
Bonus.
Okay.
You can always do it
bonus.
again. You
I think I am going to quicken a spell and try again.
It rolled another 19.
Damn it. Okay.
Oh,
Why? All right. That's what I got.
Phoenix.
Well,
Kill it, Phoenix.
yeah. So, once again, with the flail.
Phoenix in the cemetery with a flail.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, 25 to hit.
Yeah, roll damage.
Minimum damage, 7 for 14.
All right. Yep, it's still alive somehow.
All right. Attack number 2. Reckless as well. Dirty 20.
And you crush it to death in the most literal sense of the word.
And that's 16, but obviously it died.
Yeah. You guys do notice as the other zombies and skeletons and everything else seem to take absolutely no notice whatsoever of the whole fight and really everything.
Was it
Rhea
just like a-
sheaths her sword, goes, "This place is unnerving me. I hate that this holy land has been desecrated in such a way."
We should keep moving.
She nods.
I
Um,
pick up my sword.
Yes, you may do so.
And Bonnie heads for the place.
recast past. Yeah, wait. Nope, I can't. I'm out of second level spells. Never mind.
Oof.
We
Okay.
just
All right. As you walk in, let me do some revealing. And I also will have some flavor text. Wow, this polygon reveal tool is much more smooth on a PC that isn't 10 years old. Okay. Okay. This once beautiful main area of the chapel is littered with broken furnishings and splintered chairs. The stained glass windows have all been smashed, though one remains mostly intact where it's fallen, whole to the floor. It depicts a representation of the god Torm, placing a golden helm on the head of a man kneeling before him.
And that's this stuff in the south part of the room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any evidence of footprints or anything that might indicate somebody came through here more recently?
Survival or perception check or perceptigation.
I'm gonna go with survival, actually. Why am I proficient in that? Doesn't matter.
I
9.
Okay.
I really don't have a high whiz, though. I'm just proficient in it for some reason. 9.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
We don't see any dead, like,
No.
blood, dead soldiers, etc.
No, nothing like that.
Do we see any, like, evidence of, like, this is the glass case where the holy dingus was?
Perceptigation.
Oh boy.
If only.
Are any of us familiar with the story, the meaning behind the stained glass and the helmet thing?
Roll a history or religion check. Anyone can do that.
So that's
I'm
a nat
definitely
1
going
on my
to.
perception.
Let's see what.
Yeah,
Bonnie
you don't know. You're not even paying
I think
attention.
Phoenix is distracted because there's just, like, some sweat dripping down his ass crack.
That tracks.
Bonnie rolled a 9. She never
He's
really
just, like,
learned
wiggling a little
about
bit.
this.
Like,
I got a 17 on history.
So, you, while you were at Candlekeep, you wanted to read a little bit about the history of El Turel, got some of the books in the short time you were there, or maybe it was in Baldur's Gate before you left. But either way, you remember reading this story about Torm's Sight. And it is, you remember going through and that this is a depiction of Helm himself Torm himself presenting the Helm of Torm to Lanish Fogel. His name isn't terribly important, but he is a revered hero of El Turel, and that is in fact the relic you are looking for, a sign that it is in here.
Well, I mean, that indicates that at least in theory, this is the right place to look.
Is
You're
there any?
saying it isn't there. Is that what he said?
No, that it would be that it is in here.
Oh,
Or
it
would-
is present.
well,
Or
we
would
don't
be.
see it, but that
By
stained
is in
glass
here, I mean in
indicates,
this
like,
building somewhere.
this is probably where they held it. It's
Yeah.
like they put the stained glass because it shows the story of the
Mhm.
thing
It's
they
the
got here.
equivalent of the Grail can be found in the castle.
Is there anything in the stained glass depicting any, like, the Da Vinci Code kind of clue type thing?
If there was, it's too broken to be able to tell.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start wandering around. Any doors along this towery looking
Yeah, I
place?
think maybe we should, like, look up this way too.
Yeah, so a couple things. So there are doors, big, huge double doors all along that circular room. But over where Phoenix is, it does move around. And over here, there are a number of other stained glass murals. The smashed remnants of fine furniture and the remains of a stained glass window are strewn in this area. Sections of one huge stained glass window remain intact, enough so that its subject can still be made out. The window once portrayed Helm, standing among fallen soldiers, holding his hands aloft as the spirits of the dead rise to stand at his side.
Okie dokie.
Would I recognize the depiction of Helm?
Oh, absolutely. No check required.
And he's calling like the undead to fight with him?
They are not. It is not undead. They are risen from the dead, alive once more.
Oh, okay.
Either that, or they have ascended into some sort of angelic thing. One or the other.
Are there any sarcophagi, any kind of like, don't know the official words, like the holy cabinet where the Eucharist is kept, that kind of thing?
Yeah. There, if you look in the middle there does seem to be a table that is like an altar.
I'll go over and have a look around the altar.
What are you looking for?
Just anything that would, any kind of little hidden switch or opening
Perception check.
drawers, opening. I'm ransacking a holy temple. 12.
Not that you see, but that also isn't really Helm's MO. He's kind of the archetypical paladin, the swing first, ask questions later kind of guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're not, as far as you know, the only sacrifices he has ever asked people to make include devotion, not ever of money or anything that isn't just directly related to service.
The whole kind of super paladin type thing, are there any shields, weapons, any kind of holy banners, that type of thing?
None here, oddly enough. Which does
Okay.
strike you as a little odd, but it also could be that it's just been cleared out.
Right.
It's not at all impossible or unlikely that that they were grabbed in defense of the citadel.
Probably where the cleric got the ancient whack-a-mole. Okay.
How does Raven feel? How does she react to this? One of the few blatant descriptions of her god.
Because she's grown up around this kind of iconography, she's kind of finding a little bit of comfort in it. It's something familiar in a very unsettling space for her. Having grown up with the people around her kind of pointing out hellspawn, to have something of Helm in this place that she's really quite afraid of, she's taken a little bit of comfort from that. She's also really mad about the whole being gored thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bonnie has sort of stayed over by the door, looking out, keeping an eye on things. But she's noticing this circular thing in front of her. Does it look like there's any doorways or whatever?
Multiple doorways amongst it. Yeah, the multiple double doorways.
Yeah, I was gonna say Temperance spotted them earlier and was gonna push them open.
Yeah, I think Bonnie will do that too, to see what happens. She was going to go to the closest one. Is that right there where Phoenix is?
Yeah, I think so.
So say, shall we? And she's going to attempt to open the door too.
Okay. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, sorry, I had to find something. You push open the doors,
Yes, yes.
and you see inside 3 figures. At least you will, if it will let me reveal things. Okay. The 3 doored archway connected this chamber to the other areas of the chapel. Shattered wardrobes and dressing tables, as well as a number of smashed mirrors, suggest this was once where priests prepared their daily services. Spiral stairs leading down are guarded by 2 creatures with insectoid features. Each one is armed with a wicked trident. As you watch, another figure, seeming humanoid, dressed in fine blue and yellow clothes, walks up the stairs. You notice an odd look about him. You can't tell if it's your eye, if it's his eyes or his look or what. They don't seem to have noticed you as yet. By the way, this is him, just to give you a...
Creepy.
Do they seem like they're coming, like they're gonna go out some of these doors?
No, the 2 seem to be guarding the stairs, and he's just kind of looking around.
And he's not familiar to anybody? Temperance is gonna duck around the corner and send a message to Phoenix. Should we confront them? Try to be sneaky? What's the move here?
I don't know. Does anybody recognize those creatures?
Do we?
Religion check.
Thirteen.
17.
19.
Phoenix, you've seen some shit, is all I gotta say.
I mean, just to make it clear, Phoenix did have a long adventuring career before he hit rock bottom and joined the Flaming Fist.
These are Mesoloths.
So demons.
Yugoloths being the fiends that are between devils and demons. They are essentially all contracted hirelings. Evil, but they're only to do a job. Which strikes, I mean, it doesn't strike you as odd that they would be here necessarily, but you don't know what they're doing. And this figure, on the other hand, you don't recognize at all. It seems to be a humanoid of some sort.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if I can respond to the message, I would say, I mean, if we try to talk to them and then they just fight us, we can just fight them. It's like, we outnumber them. How important exactly is getting the sneak attack? If weight against the chance to get any information at all about anything.
That's a good point. Temperance is just gonna stay where she is and wait for Phoenix to make the first move then.
Okay. I mean, I guess if I can see people sort of just like, I guess he'll look at Bonnie and just be like, shrug his shoulders, sort of saying like, should we talk to him or?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying you should do it. I think he's just like checking in with.
Bonnie might be the perfect person though, she's in her little apron looking whatever. So I think, seeing that nobody knows what to do, I think Bonnie's going to step through the door and say, "Hello, excuse me, is someone there?"
you would look over, and the two creatures raise their tridents, but then lower it as he looks and says, "You are not a undead, I see. Nor
no.
are you one of the demon spawn. What brings you here?"
Well, I am originally from El Terrell, and so I have returned to see what's happened to the ones that I care about in lieu of this dreadful thing that's happened. My name is Boniface. Boniface Montmartre. May I ask your name?
Gideon, but enough with the pleasantries. You say you're here. There are no civilians here, if that is what you are looking for. We must protect this place from these horrific demons.
Oh, I certainly agree. Well, you see, I'm not alone. There are several of us that came from Baldur's Gate to see what could be done.
I must admit, I'm terribly uninterested in whatever it is, as long as you are not demonic or aiding in the demons, which I assume you are not, or my guards would have attacked you before you got here.
Oh, that is so kind of you not to do that. May I introduce you to the others, and we can perhaps
If you must,
explain.
whatever.
I would like to explain what we're about, in case you could give us some information. We mean no trouble. We only come to help. And
He
she's
huffs
gonna,
a little bit, but then waves you to continue.
I beckon out the door to Phoenix, and hoping, and then I too can send the message to
Everyone.
everyone that says, "Come, Raven," and Temperance.
Mhm.
Temperance that says, "Come on in."
I'm gonna hold back.
Okay.
Temperance will step in.
What does Freya do? And Lulu.
Lulu would follow if you. Lulu probably came in with you, honestly. Rhea
Okay.
would come in behind you.
Okay.
She definitely has a hand on her sword, but isn't going yet.
Well, and Bonnie is channeling nice little old lady.
What is it that you... So you're coming here. You do not work with the demons, is that true?
Oh, no, not at all.
Roll a persuasion, or I guess deception check as appropriate.
Well, I would probably rather do persuasion if it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, unless you are secretly working with the demons.
That's a 24.
Nice.
He nods in understanding, yes.
Now, we are a various crew, and we have been sent here from Baldur's Gate to try and find Alder Ravengard, and to try and help with this dreadful thing that's happened to El Terrell. Do you know about it? About the contract, and that all of us in El Terrell sold our souls, and we thought we were doing the Pledge of Allegiance and just being nice to the city?
I had heard. I have been... Some of that has, in fact, been revealed to me.
Oh.
But it seems like this may have all been unfortunate, but for the best, as the Blood War doesn't seem to be going well. Some more soldiers may have been exactly what was needed to keep these hideous demons out.
Oh, dear.
Unfortunate as it may be.
Oh, I see. She casts her eyes over to Phoenix or Temperance in any direction, looking for inspiration, but not trying to like wildly shake her head, just kind of like, I did my part. I must say, because I want to be completely transparent with you, we do have one in our group who is a tiefling.
Okay.
Outside the door. It was like,
Well, it's just
I had an uncle who was a half-elf. I mean...
oh, that's
you know.
how wonderful. I'm sure he was a lovely fellow. And we tried
No,
to
he was
accept-
actually an asshole, but, you know, whatever. It wasn't the
well.
half-elf part that was the problem. It was the alcoholic part.
Oh, I see. Oh, bless your heart. What a time. You know, families...
Please
we
don't.
just-
Be careful with
my
that.
bloodline is from the devil's side, not demons.
But we all have to learn to live in family relationships and do the best that we can.
I'm
And
uninterested
sometimes
in
it
this
is
conversation.
difficult.
Please move on
So-
to whatever the important facts are.
Would you like a turkey sandwich?
No. I would like you to get on to whatever it is that is important. You're wasting my time.
What do you know about what is it? Helms, the helm of
Site.
Torm's site?
Helm site. Yes, Helm site.
site.
It's in the basement or something.
Um,
We certainly don't want the demons getting here. I had to, my undead minions and I had to defeat an entire legion of Baphomet's minotaurs in order to even protect it. But that is why I rose all the undead around here, to make sure the demons cannot get to this hallowed space.
Oh, so all those nice people out there that weren't bothering us at all, you are in charge of them.
I wouldn't call them people, but yes.
Well, that was
Wow.
very clever of you.
He
Well,
doesn't respond. He just
yeah.
looks at you.
I do have a question for you, sir. We were told that a particular human man by the name of Baldur Ravengard was supposed to come here looking for that thing. Any chance you and your friends came across him?
I wouldn't know him from anyone else, but there was a group of humans that came through here. Considering my undead minions did not attack him, he didn't seem to be in line with the demons, but now I'm wondering if he was the one who brought all of the demons here.
Probably not.
I mean, if he did, it probably wasn't on purpose.
Ignorance is just as bad.
I mean, are you saying you think they were following him? Or like that he
I
did
don't
it on
know.
purpose? I mean, I don't think he did it on purpose. You know, that seems unlikely, given what
Well,
I
we
know
would
of the man.
certainly like to find him and ask him. Did they stay here or go?
Did they find
do you
what they were
mean?
looking for?
I don't know. It's not my job to babysit them.
Did they come
it
in and
yours?
go downstairs? We're trying to find
That
out if
way,
they've been
he
here.
gestures past the mezzalofts.
So the humans went down there.
That is what I am saying, yes.
Do you mind if we go?
I mean, if any demons are down there, you're gonna have to deal with them, because I'm not letting them through here. But there was a whole incursion. It was a problem.
Oh, sorry. So you're trying not to let the demons out?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're coming in.
From they're coming up from downstairs is what you're saying.
Why do I think I have the guards here?
Well, to stop people from going downstairs to get the thing. Is what I thought. I was wrong. I guess.
Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if they get that, it would probably be bad, but not as bad as if there are demons running loose around the city, where we will create all of our new soldiers for the Blood War.
You know, I do think we saw some demons running around the city.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure
across
we
the
There
saw
are
bridge.
certainly.
a
Yeah.
lot.
There certainly are some, but if there is a particular incursion here, then that,
Right. That
in and
makes
of
sense.
itself must be dealt with.
So I have a question.
Ask away, I guess.
You're protecting a holy space, you said.
Incidentally, but yes.
Oh, so you don't, like, it's not holy to you specifically. This is just a good source of your soldiers, I guess.
That is a difficult story. It is also of no importance.
Just trying to find out where your loyalty lies.
Against the demons. If you are against the demons, then we are, in fact, in league. It is all that matters.
Do you have a patron or a deity or someone?
We all work for people, do we not?
Yeah, I work for Captain Zaj. It ain't going great, as you can tell.
Mm.
So we're just gonna go downstairs now.
Oh, I do have a question for you. If
Or
we
not.
were looking for somebody good with contracts, for on an entirely unrelated note, any idea where we might find one of them? Preferably one with who's not too big and sort of kind of a pushover. You know what I mean?
I assume you are referring to infernal contracts, then.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't expect somebody to be familiar with mortal laws down here.
He nods and says, "Well, as a matter of fact, yes. There are many who would be experts in such. It depends on who it is you're willing to talk to. For one, of course, the safest bet would always be to find an Arcanoloth, as they are experts in all things and are relatively safe if you have the money for it."
Okay, and what sort of coin would they trade in?
Soul coins.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Although some may take gold or gems.
Where would we find an Arcanoloth?
I don't know. You could listen. You're in hell. If you seek, cry out the name of a demon lord or someone, I'm sure that you can find one.
Great. Well, good luck.
Otherwise, there, of course, you could always go for the infernal route.
Which would be?
An Amanzu.
I suppose that's less safe.
Define less safe. None of this is safe.
True.
However, Amanzus do work in the infernal hierarchy, where the Arcanoloths do not.
It's good to keep in mind, I guess. Where do they...
They are usually
Live.
the gatekeepers of hell.
Hmm.
Although they can be found doing administrative tasks across the realms, all over the Nine.
Okay.
The 9.
The Nine
Realms.
Hells.
Oh, there are 9 of them?
Compared to, say, a relatively average mortal adventurer, how strong would you say an Arcanoloth or a Amanzu are?
Both are incredibly dangerous creatures that I would not personally seek to slight. Amanzus sit in the infernal hierarchy directly below pit fiends, among the same level of the Aranyeses.
All right. Well, that's some very helpful information. Thank you.
Arcanoloths would be of equal-ish, maybe, depending on the Arcanoloth, slightly lower. but both are devastatingly powerful spellcasters. Amongst the most powerful spellcasters that are not directly divine or unholy.
When these demons went down the stairs, were the people down there that you saw?
Up the stairs, and yes, they went down first.
They went down the stairs, and then they went up the stairs. Above us? Or out? I mean, there's no up, is there? I'm confused.
They went down.
And then they came back up.
They did not.
They went down, the demons went down, and no one has come back up.
Nods.
I thought it was the humans went down, and then
Some demons
eventually-
tried to come up, but they were killed.
Okay.
Okay.
But the
So-
humans went down and then the demons came up.
Correct.
The demons didn't start up and then go down and then come back up.
Correct.
Okay.
This is very confusing.
I think we've got the timeline. The humans show up. At that time, there's no demons anywhere that we know of.
Correct.
The humans go down the stairs, and then demons come up the stairs.
You got it
Oh.
exactly correct.
Now, did you just happen
Who's
to be
that first?
standing here, or did you think that... how did you know there were going to be demons coming up, or did you just happen to get lucky?
We detected the startings of the demonic incursion.
I see.
I think they may have activated through ignorance or otherwise.
Some sort of planar thing. Okay, I got you.
All right.
Well, I tell you what, if I kill any demons, I'll kick them one extra time in anything they have resembling balls for you.
He nods. Destroying them must be our highest priority.
Well, I love to trade. It's been something I've always enjoyed. I cook a pie for someone, they bring me a pot roast. It works out so well. If we were to get rid of those awful demons, is there any way that you might be able to introduce us to one of these, well, I'm going to call them lawyers because I don't understand the other words. Do you know any of them that might help us if you spoke up for us?
No.
Oh,
Nice tried, Bonnie.
well, it never hurts to offer a good trade. Are you sure you don't want a turkey sandwich? They don't taste that great, but they really keep you in some energy, you know. Go, go, go.
No answer.
Well, and I do mean this genuinely, you are the nicest person we've met here.
Yes, very true.
I'm not wrong.
And I say we, perchance, friends, we take our leave and see what we can find out.
Are we going down
You
the
see him
stairs?
nod as the mezzolofts kind of shift aside to allow you to shift down the stairs. Though as a reminder, if you bring the demons back up, I won't hesitate to kill you with them.
Right.
I think we probably would prefer that.
Mm.
Good.
But I suspect if they come back up, you won't
There's
have to
nothing
worry
left
about
of
us.
us.
Right.
Downward to victory or death, then.
But has this place been relatively safe so far? That you say the zombies outside?
Nothing
are-
is safe in hell.
Well, yes, but what I'm getting at is we have been through a lot. We took on some skeletons are out there. We might need to rest a bit. And I just wondered if we all needed to be in full, strength and all the turkey sandwiches we could eat and rest before we go downstairs so that we would be fully prepared to face Demons. Would that be wise, do you think? You knowing what your zombies are doing out there and what could be happening downstairs?
We haven't seen. As long as they don't start coming up, I'm disinterested.
Great. Do you care if we like maybe get out of your hair and just into the outside room
I would
here? And...
very hope that you would do so, and sooner rather than later.
Sure. Well, I'm saying like we sit outside for like an hour maybe, or 10 minutes maybe, and then go downstairs.
You see him roll his eyes and be like, whatever you need. This chapel should be more or less safe if you wish to take a rest in here.
Great. Yeah, I say Phoenix is gonna sort of try to find some place not covered in sharp glass to take a short rest if everyone wants to.
So we do 10-minute short rests.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's another thing that might have to change with the new rule set, just because there's a bunch of spells that are gonna interplay with short rests in a different way. But I'll make a decision about that after I read through the rules.
Mhm.
Any things you guys want to do during the short rest?
Well, I'm gonna use some
let's
hit
see.
dice.
Well, do I get that light thing back? Was it long rest? I got to check on that. Is it long
I think
rest?
you get that at a long rest, but I'm not sure.
I'm going to double check.
You can cast healing or cure wounds with your regular spell slots, which you do get back.
Okay, that was a feature or trait. I want to take the time to check a couple of things.
Yeah, that's fine. I can tell you this is probably where we're going to leave off for the day. It seems like a pretty good place for us to leave. But if you have some in-character stuff you want to take care of, you are welcome to continue to do that for a few minutes. If there's anything like that you want to do.
Well, I don't have healing word, I don't think.
No, but you have cure wounds.
I have cure wounds.
Mhm.
And
That one you could use and you would get your spell slots back. That being said, Raven is a little bit down, and I guess
I just used the hit dice. I'm right back up.
Yeah, and then
I'm topped
Phoenix
off.
will
Yeah,
use
Phoenix is
one and
full as
probably
well.
be fine.
Yeah.
So,
Still don't have any second level spells because I do not get spells back under short rest, but
Mhm.
we're good.
I was trying. Okay, so is Temperance okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I didn't get
Okay,
hit.
well, I didn't take any damage at
no
all
one else
then.
has gotten
So
hit.
okay,
Only
so I'm okay.
Raven almost dying.
Again.
Again, I'm noticing a trend.
Bonnie,
Builds builds a ranged character, continues to get into melee.
I don't think because we're not taking a long rest. I can't do that food thing.
Well, it'd take an hour, but
Yeah. But we're trying to take less time so we don't piss
yeah,
the
10
guy
minutes
off, right?
probably.
But I think she'd encourage
He wasn't very
everybody
friendly.
to eat a sandwich or something and water
Yeah.
and anything we have that hasn't gotten totally gross.
You have some of those already made. It would, in fact, count against the ones you have made before, which would give him some temporary hit points. So 3, I believe.
Okay.
So
So I can give them 3 temporary hit points.
if they
All
wanted
of
to
us
the
or
same,
just
anyone who eats one. How many do you have left? Do you keep track?
where would that be? That's in my inventory. Probably not.
Okay, well, we can just say for this time everyone has one, and then we'll look
And
to keep a
then
little
that
more
wipes
track
us
going
out.
forward.
That takes care of it. I'm probably done. So that's 3
Yeah.
temporary hit points, and I'm out of sandwiches.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else we want to take care of before we end session?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. With that, we will leave things off. It's a pretty good place. Oh, and also, you guys are now level 6.
Oh, damn!
Hey!
Although, should we wait to level up in the new system?
Yep.
I think you can go ahead and level up. It'll give
Okay.
you an idea of what you want to do.
All right.
I wouldn't go too crazy, like with crazy theory crafting or anything,
Right.
but it could give you an idea. Just maybe just pick some vague stuff that you want, and don't worry too much about it. I could say especially bonus mom, because your subclass has not changed all that much. You get to say that the celestial warlock is going to be in the new system, and it'll be pretty similar. So you definitely can, and it'll make a make things much
Okay.
easier when we get back.
Well, Doc,
so,
I'll get with you to do that if that's okay.
of course, always. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it to remember that we did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I made a note. Hopefully, I'll
Okay.
remember.
All right.
Awesome.
with
I hope
that-
everybody has a good month.
Yeah.
It'll be a while.
I take note of whether, what we have to remember for next time. Like looks like we all have inspiration.
Yep.
Mhm.
With that, Pixel, go ahead and take us out.
Kaylee,
Oh.
be sure and let us know you're there and you're home safe. You don't have to tell all of us. Just tell the doc. Tell Doc, and he'll tell us.
I'll figure out a way to get
Yeah,
I'm sure she
messages
can
send me
out.
when you
Add
get
If she
there.
can message me, she can post in the group chat.
It's true.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, folks, we are going to do our usual sign off here, reminding everybody who we were, who we played tonight, and where we can be found on the internet. As always, my name is Pixel. You can find me here every other Saturday, but not during the month of September. So theoretically, October the 12th, is it? Is that right? Gang, does anyone
Something
know?
like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
double check it
we're
real quick.
not playing on the 28th, just for clarity.
Will you
I
be
can't-
be back by
I'll
then?
be back by then, yeah.
We'll talk, but I can't do the 12.
Okay. Okay.
We'll figure it out.
So
figure it
then,
out.
It'll
so
figure
then
it
we'll
out
probably
after
try
a
to do the
while.
28th. We'll
We'll be
announce
back
it in
when
the
Kaylee gets
Discord,
back.
gang. If you're listening to the sound of my voice on Twitch or YouTube and you're not in our Discord, go join our Discord, because that's where we'll be announcing when we're doing this again. Anyway, so yeah, you can find me doing that. Like I said, I'm considering starting up a new player game, but we'll see. And you can find me here on twitch.tv playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, sort of for the foreseeable future. We're really going hard with that at the moment. And that's it. That's me.
It's Bonus Mom.
So I played Boniface Montmartre, also known as Bonus Mom. But anyway, I am spending a lot of time also playing Final Fantasy XIV on TikTok and Twitch, both Bonus Mom 70. If you want to see me playing Elden Ring, I'll be doing that tomorrow night, I think, long about 7 o'clock. And Monday through Fridays, I do a chat at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time in the morning, pretty much. And a lot of afternoons, I play cozy games, and some 9:30s at night, all Eastern Daylight Times, I play some more Final Fantasy XIV. So I'm in a lot of places, more than I can even think of to tell you at the moment. But I hope that I get to see you all again soon in one of those places. Thank you.
Excellent. McReese.
I'm McReese, and I've been playing Raven LaFey, the Tiefling Druid. And I am always in one of Bonus Mom's chats somewhere, and I do try to keep up on where you can find her YouTube, her Twitch, also Ages of Ainur. So
you do
watch
better
the
than
chat
she does.
for knowing when we come back.
And Kaylee.
I am Kaylee. You can find me Kaylee1999 pretty much in all social medias. I also stream on Twitch occasionally, but as previously mentioned, I will not be in the country for the next several weeks. So I will not be doing any of the social medias probably. But I also stream when I'm doing that sort of stuff with another D&D group, Reality Break 20, here on Twitch. Right now, we are reviewing virtual tabletops to see if we want to stick with what we're doing or change it up. So if you've ever
Oh no!
virtual
Oh.
table,
Oh,
oh no!
We almost lost you for a second. It's like if you ever, and then it's just like stop.
If you ever want to see a deep dive on virtual tabletops, go check out Reality Break 20 over the next several weeks. That's what they're going to be doing while I'm away. So
Very cool.
Excellent.
that's me.
And I don't mean to jump in again. I did just get word that I think on Monday evening I am going to be doing another stream here on Ages of Ainur with my buddy
Nice.
Beast. We are going to be looking at and kind of giving our first impressions of the new MCDM TTRPG system Draw Steel. They just sent
very
out the
cool.
backer packets, and I'm a backer, so we're going to do that. I guess I should check and see if there's some kind of embargo. I can't talk about it, but they sent it out to us, so I assume that it's fine to talk about. So we should be doing that Sunday night if you want. We did a kind of similar thing with their Flea Mortals monster book for 5th edition, and so I'm really excited to check this stuff out. And if you're interested in that system at all, it is billed as Tactical Heroic Cinematic Fantasy tabletop role-playing game. So that sounds like a lot of fun. We'll be checking that out on Monday.
Awesome.
Okay, Pixel, clarify what night, because you
Monday.
said Monday. It's Monday, not Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, so Monday. Yeah. So, okay. Well, friends, I of course did not even remotely think about who we might want to raid today. Our friend Lady Stuff is live. We didn't raid her
Yeah, I
last
was
time,
about to
did
say.
we?
Did
Yeah, we did, but who cares? It was
did
a month
Doc
ago.
get to
A month
say
ago.
goodnight? Did we get
Also,
to hear
yeah,
from
does
Doc?
Doc need to say goodnight as well?
Oh.
Oh, well, I was DocRobert, the DM, putting these guys through literal hell.
Fair enough. All right, gang. Well, do me a favor for the next 1 to 2 months until we come back. And, be 1 to 2 months kind to yourself. Please. Please, I'm begging you. Please do it. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go raid our friend Lady Stuff. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together